When I think about the arts in San Francisco, I think of an ecosystem that has many different constituents and components. So you have large arts organizations, mid-sized groups, and smaller arts organizations, all bringing together the creative community to present their ideas to the public. Part of that ecosystem also includes the creative community, which, as individuals, also have to partner with arts organizations. Today, we're speaking with one of the important components of that ecosystem, which is the role of the Arts Incubator. And we're visiting with CounterPulse here in the Mission, and joining me to talk about CounterPulse and what they do is Jessica Robinson-Love, the Executive Director. So Jessica, welcome to Culture Wire.
Thank you for having me.
And can you tell me what is CounterPulse?
CounterPulse is a studio theater here in San Francisco that serves as, like you mentioned, an incubator for artists who are creating new work, who are experimenting with, departing from, and developing their performance work. We support those artists through an Artist in Residence program, through festivals such as the Performing Diaspora Festival, which we'll be talking about today, and also through a variety of commissioning programs and shorter showings where artists get to show their work in process.
That's fantastic, Jessica. And actually what prompted us to come and visit with you is that in the month of November, you have actually now brought to life an idea that you sort of nurtured for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And that's the Performing Diaspora, isn't that correct?
Absolutely. Yeah, Performing Diaspora came to me as an idea several years ago when I was sort of looking at, as you describe it, the ecosystem or the cultural community of the Bay Area. And what I found was that artists who are rooted in traditional performance forms, katak dance, folklorico, taiko drumming, have a certain amount of opportunity to show their work to an audience, but often when they want to innovate or transform that work, there isn't as much of a support system for them. Conversely, I was finding that contemporary presenters were more and more open to traditional work, but often it was being provided without a lot of context. And so what I wanted to do was create an opportunity for artists who, in my opinion, were sort of falling through the cracks. And give them the chance to develop new work, not just through a festival, but through a residency program and a commissioning process so that we could really fully support the work in its development.
What I want is for the dancers to feel like dancers, not like folklorico dancers. That's on a level for them. As a choreographer, I want to be able to do a much more personal work that speaks about the reality that we live in, not the reality of our parents. And even more importantly, not always dances about happy, happy people in happy, happy places. And what that said is that I needed to use the vocabulary that I've always known, but in a new context. And I have tried to do that again and again, sometimes very successfully, sometimes not, but never with the support of an organization behind me. And that's the big difference.
And how would you describe the performance that you demonstrated during the Performing Diaspora?
We have an after-school program, and that's called the Floricanto Institute. And there we service children from the 3rd grade to the 12th grade. And then we have the company, who are the people that usually have been dancing from 3 to umpteenth years. And what we did for this particular project is we brought in a couple of the Institute people because I wanted a sort of family feel to it, because Rudy Anaya's novel is about family and about the values of family.
What will you take from this experience of the diaspora?
I think that it is a wonderful thing to be able to perform the same program for 4 days in a row. It is a way to grow the product that I have seldom experienced, because as you know, dance is one night and off you go to another place if you're lucky to have another dance the next day. I feel like it is like in a Broadway musical where I'm taking it on the road and it's getting better and better all the time.
Thank you so much, Hema, for bringing your company to San Francisco.
Thank you very much.
Africa's a fuchsia wall covered in charcoal dust. 10 fingers and toes, I got a grant in 2008 to travel to Ghana to study the Dahomean roots of Afro-Haitian music and dance. And they thought I was a white man. You know, working in this festival, I understand why that happened. But my piece is about the disconnect that happens between African Americans and African people that live on the continent of Africa, and how we kind of miss each other.
And so participating in this festival has given you, did it serve as a kind of incentive to kind of process that experience?
Yes, because I wouldn't talk about it. This is the CounterPulse Performing Diaspora Festival is the first opportunity that I've really had to express myself and my true feeling about my trip. Because in my tradition, in African diasporic dance, and in African culture, you don't go and talk about your family. And even though me and the Ghanaians, we had a rough time understanding each other, they're still my family. Going there, I came back and I was like, you know what, I'm super American. And I never had a relationship to my American citizenship until I went to Africa. And then I was like, oh yeah. So
it sounds like these are pretty profound issues and emotions and experiences. How are you finding, what was the creative process like to, with your company to kind of bring those issues to the fore?
The ancestors don't work on the same time as we do as human beings. So when they want to speak to us or they want us to reveal something, it may be inconvenient for us. So it's been very emotional. This process has been very emotional for me. Just dealing with the work in progress showings and kind of listening to what people have to say about it.
CounterPulse has sort of, given you this opportunity through this Performing Diaspora to, present this work. Has that been useful for you?
I am so grateful for this experience because, like I said, in the Bay Area, it's very traditional and our elders trained us a very specific kind of way. So any opportunity to step in front of them and show them that we understand what we've been taught and how we are putting our own voice into it is very pleasing to them. And so I get to stand in front of my elders and be me and also be them.
Improvisation in rhythmic Indian classical dance is closely intertwined with Indian classical music. And so the dancer is a musician. We wear bells on our ankles, and these compositions, we are dancing the music and the rhythm, and we improvise with the musicians.
So your body is an instrument as well.
So our body is an instrument. And we dance on the earth for the divine. And the bowls and the sounds that we produce with our mouth, we produce with our feet, and also the instruments like the tabla produces these same sounds. And so we can communicate by reciting, by dancing, by movement, in so many different ways. So the body is an instrument.
Now, how has the Performing Diaspora helped your creative process?
We are not only have this residency where we really get to go work deeply and go deeply into our work with other artists, but we get to talk about it, and we have to write about it, and we have to reflect on it, and we have to think about it. And as ADIA was saying, our gurus see it and they give us feedback. And so it's not just like a one-shot go on perform in a festival and then you're off and wow, that was great, applause, applause, applause. It's a real transformational experience because you are reflecting and revising and reflecting and revising and questioning. What is it about tradition that is so meaningful and that is so relevant in contemporary times? So it's been a real blessing and a wonderful opportunity for me as a solo artist in the Kathak tradition.
Charlotte, thanks for being such a great cultural ambassador for San Francisco and for this art form.
Oh, thank you. It's my pleasure.
It's been really extraordinary to have this opportunity to talk with some of the performers who are participating in the Performing Diaspora. And it really piqued my interest. So how can I get more information about what happened?
Absolutely. Well, the festival in November has been really well documented, and it's available on our website in a multitude of forms. Performing Diaspora is more than just a performance. It's also a community and an ongoing dialogue and interaction. And so anyone who wants to can visit our website. They can go on there to watch interviews with the artists, to watch rehearsal footage as well as footage of the performances, and to read journals. Each of the artists that you spoke with has written extensively and articulately about what it was like to develop their performance here in the Performing Diaspora program. And all of that, the writing, the video, the discussions, footage from the symposium that we had in November, all of that is available on our website.
Well, Jessica, it's been really a rich experience, and I'm sure that many of our viewers will take advantage of the website and be prepared to come to CounterPulse next year for the second phase of this.
Yes, Performing Diaspora will continue next year with performances by several of the artists in a full-length version.
Great, thanks for being part of Culture Wire.
Thank you so much.